People, I'm here again. This is Carol. Once more, today I'm going to deal with a profound subject. It's about consciousness. Very, very profound. It is a conundrum to many, in the, especially for those in the scientific community. But I don't think it's that. It's a conundrum for people in the philosophical or theistic community. It belongs to the area of metaphysics, not necessarily physics, but a lot of scientists believe that it's part of their discipline as well, which I don't think so, because they're coming up with a lot of stuff to help explain what consciousness is. And consciousness is in the scientific community is viewed from a materialistic point of view, naturalistic, materialistic point of view. And for instance, they they try to use these different schools of thought to explain what consciousness is. You must probably, those of you, they use quantum mechanics, the theory of relativity, Einstein theory of special relativity. They use all of these things. They use all kind of scientific paradigm to explain what consciousness is, and it's very elusive. It's not. It's insusceptible to the consciousness is insusceptible to these kind of scientific investigation because it's not something that is belongs to the physical world. It's part of it, but it's not. It's not derived from anything physical. You know, you have to go way back to Genesis to get an idea what I'm talking about. When God created Adam, he couldn't move. He was just there until God breathed in him the breath of life. Then he moves. He get up. He become animated, and he get up and move around. Before that, he was inanimated. He was dead. He just could move. Nothing was in him to move him. Right. So from the scientific point of view, it's based on a naturalistic, materialistic point of view, a paradigm there. Within the scientific community, they do not like anything supernatural, anything that transcend physical space, time, and matter. They don't like. They don't want to accept that this reality is there. A matter of fact, that this is the reality that make all of what they study significant. You know, if it wasn't for God, there wouldn't be any science. God makes science possible because it's a logical, rational being that created the universe in a orderly, law-like way. And we have order within the universe. We have laws that govern the universe. This is how God expresses power to sustain the universe within these laws. And so we can see very clearly that we cannot, existence is grounded in God himself. If you denied God, then you have no foot. You have no feet to stand on. It's like you want to pull yourself up by your own shoelace. You know, it can't make any sense. And so that's why these scientists, they talk a lot of things that is counterintuitive, outright contradictory, and absurd, because they want things to be about molecules only and tissues and matter and laws. If there are laws, there is a lawgiver, right? For the Christian, consciousness is no mystery. It's the ontology of consciousness is not something that easily defined, of course. It's a profound subject, but from a Christian point of view, from a theistic point of view, we know that from we read in Genesis, God is the one who instilled consciousness into Adam and Eve. If you are to study consciousness, you would have to read several books. There's so much information on it. I don't want to be, exhaustive. So I just be superficial in many things just to move along, because you can't get too deep in these things. There's so much philosophical knowledge and explanation for it, and scientific too. So I just want to deal with the fundamental aspect of it. Consciousness is from God. He gave it to Adam and Eve. It is when Adam and Eve when God created them, they couldn't. They were just there, right? And until God blew the breath of life in them, then they move. It's from God. But it's not. A lot of people speculated that it's from the brain. It's brain. The brain gives rise to the soul, or the consciousness. And epiphenomenalism, they call it. It's like a piece of wood or some physical substance casts a shadow, something like that. And there are many different views. There are many different views according to the consciousness. There are many different views. The view that we hold, Christian, I hope that all Christian, but I don't think so. Because a lot of Christians allow secularism, secular, naturalistic, materialistic paradigm to affect them, how they think about religious things, and they have it wrong. They put the cart before the horse instead of the horse before the cart. A lot of Christians have it why they allow secular, philosophical, naturalistic belief, atheistic belief to affect how they interpret the Bible. No, you use the Bible to interpret what these guys are saying because this is God's word. They might mock it and laugh at it and make the Bible mythical and stupid and absurd, as if, because listen, almost every year these guys have to change their theories and our scientific paradigms, almost constantly. Science is in a state of flux. The Bible is not in a state of flux. It's permanent, forever. Scientific discipline, hypothesis, theories, theorems are in a state of flux. It changes constantly because these guys don't know. I heard one scientist say the most they know right now, all that they know for certain, based upon experimental science, is 5%. 5%. Majority of it is all speculation, conjectures, hypotheses. So don't be too captivated or be, with what these scientists always claim. They don't like the Bible, they don't like God, they don't like anything that is transcendent. And so that's why they belittle the Bible all the time and just put their scholarship. It's all about their scholarship and what they, can put themselves out there. And everybody want to be Einsteinian, because you can't mention physics without Einstein. He defines it. There are other great scientists out there, but he is the foremost one. And everybody want to overthrow his theories to be the new Einstein on the block, right? And I don't think they'll ever do that. they're trying hard. All the time you read about these science, they always come against to undermine his theories. Uh, in quantum mechanics, Einstein didn't too much into certain aspect of quantum mechanics, the quantum entanglement of particles that are great distance apart. You'd call it a spooky operation. He didn't really believe that, but a group of scientists come together to do a lot of experiments to disprove that theory. Certain aspect of his special relativity, and they said that they disprove it. They disprove Einstein belief, and so there's what you call quantum entanglement of particle, and Einstein didn't believe all of that. And so it's all about overthrowing Einstein. That's what you see. They're fighting and they're doing all kind of stuff. They question everything that even though science say they confirm these things that Einstein said, their scientists now come and say they want to, overthrow him now and to disprove his theories. And it's very difficult. You might disprove other aspect of certain things about Einstein, but he still rules nonetheless. So they go down. So scientists want to explain consciousness in the sense of when I go right down into the cell, like what they call it, cytoskeleton of the cell. These self-made roads in the cell, that when the cell want to get carried along in different areas of the cell, these roads appear and those, and then the protein traffic and molecular traffic does drive along this road and go carry the cargo wherever they want in the cell, wherever the cells need them, and then this road does disappear. Can you imagine if human being could make this kind of roads, man? But they can never, and they will never. This is God factor. Human being must acknowledge their limitation, but they pretend as if they are this great and supreme being. Sometimes to laugh at these guys, man. Suffer from nihilism. They believe that they are so brilliant and bright, they don't need God. And they can't even cure common flu. They can't even cure cancer, can't cure a lot of stuff. Sorry about that. Yeah, so in the Christian faith, there's non omnis moriar, non omnis moriar. We shall not wholly die. No human being wholly die. The only aspect of you that die is your body. There's an enduring self, the conscious self, the I, the ego. That's you. That's you. You're not your body. You're more than your body, even though you have a body. So our body, we don't have a Greek concept of body. The position that Christian hold that is even compatible with the Bible is substance dualism. Substance dualism. We have a body and we have a spirit. We have a body and we have a spirit. Some people term it body, soul, and spirit, but it's basically a trichotomy of the spirit, and some people use that to try to explain the Trinity, but it's not a trichotomy. It's a dichotomy. We have body and soul. Soul is the conscious us. That's who you are. Just who you are in your body. And your body, in the Greek, we don't understand it in the Greek way, like in saying that the body is just a house, that you're in your house, so the spirit is in your body in that sense. No, that is too simplistic, and it's very simplistic and artificial. Not shallow. It's very shallow concept. Or position to hold that position that that many hold. So we're integrally, we are united. We're a body soul unity. Now, if the body dies, we live on. Our body constantly change, but your soul, the self-conscious you, does not change. Your body gets sick and you feel pain, and you can cut off different, you can cut off your arm, you can cut off your leg, and even if you cut off your head, it doesn't kill the soul. Even Jesus talked about it, be careful, don't fear the man who can destroy the body, but fear the man who can destroy both body and soul into hell. And that is what God can do that. Our soul, as many believe it's not self-existence in the sense that it's an innate immortality in and of itself. God is the one who sustains it even after death. God is the one who sustains your soul. And near-death experiences give some validation to the survivability of the soul after death. But that's just near-death experience. So sometimes we have to be careful, because your near-death experience tells us a lot and gives us a lot of insight into the afterlife. It shows that you're more than your body. At least it tells you that you're more than your body. And it has been verified by science and philosophy, psychology. So it's deeply studied here now, because so many people, have been talking about, and they say how these people can see these things on anesthesia. So, the anesthesia, but they can't tell you what's happening and stuff like that. But when you see these things, you can't dismiss these things as some form of hallucination. No, they're verifiable. They're strong evidence. But no man has any after-death experience. No man. Only a few people read in the Bible that they literally died. That's why I don't like the word resuscitation of the dead. When when the apostles and Jesus raised the dead, I don't like that word that a lot of theologians use. They call it resuscitation. I don't like that. When a person dead, you can't use this adjective verb. You can't say you resuscitate the person, or the person a resuscitated body. You resuscitate people that are unconscious but not dead. When somebody die and come back to life, that's what you call resurrection, not resuscitation. I don't like that word. Resurrection. And nobody has ever literally actually died in our world. In this modern world, apart from the first century where Jesus was, when Jesus and the apostle, brought back people from the dead, but not in our world. Our world God don't allow that anymore. I know that you might have people out there claiming that their grandmother was dead and they pray and come back and all of these things. And so you're going to have a lot of people out there telling you all of these things and stuff like that. But people might not, if they come back, they weren't dead. When you're dead and your soul leave your body, in that way I'm talking about, nobody got allowed to be brought back from the dead to tell anybody anything. But we have near-death experiences. So for the Christian, we are not holy. No Christian, nobody, no human being is holy die, only the body die. So the Christian believe in substance dualism. The body is very fundamentally united, body and soul. What affects your body also affect your soul. What affect your soul affect your body. Your soul communicates through your body. There is a discipline they call cryonics. Cryonics, where people put the dead people and put them in this cold temperature to preserve them until when they found the cure for the disease, then we resurrect the person and give that person the cure. And sometimes they put people head, body parts and stuff like that. This is all lunacy. It's some people call it pseudoscience. It's unbelievable why all people can think these things. You can't. No human being can resurrect anybody. You can't do that. Because it's based upon materialism, radical, fundamental materialism. There is no soul, just a body, and soul is derived from the body. The complex organization of matter give rise to the soul. So property dualism, you know. But that's if they want to believe that, they're going to see the absurdity of that at the end. They can Nobody can resurrect anybody. That's God. That's a God factor. God said that in the end He'll resurrect every human being and judge them for what they have done. No, it will never happen. It will never happen. No human being can do that. Because everyday experience, man, everyday experience. This is the thing with science. Everyday experience, the uniformity of nature. Nature, we can see and observe how nature function, and yet we hold to a lot of fairy tales and all of this nonsense, as if we can do things that belongs to the omnipotent God. We can't do it. We'll never do it. Where consciousness comes from God. It doesn't come from the body. It doesn't come from anything. Complex organ cannot give rise to consciousness or the soul. That's why people believe that AI system will take over the world. Machine will just get consciousness and become conscious and just do things like people do. That will never happen. So don't be apprehensive and fearful of the future. That will never happen. Never. Machine will always depend upon human being to put things in it to do the algorithm, what they put in it. Machine can only do the algorithm, what human being put in it, the software. They cannot lift themselves above what? Nothing that man make can lift itself above how it is made. Like a car can decide one day not to drive, but to, move around by some other means, or this robot decides that they're going to think a way to elude these scientists and become conscious in and of itself and move about and do things like human, even more superior and stronger than human. These are Alice in Wonderland nonsense. Don't even think about that. Don't get scared, because I've read where people talking about, oh, so if machine become conscious, well, what are we going to do? What are we going to preach the gospel to these things? Or they're going to get saved? This is the level of absurdity where people can go with these things. It will never happen. God can take a machine and make it be like us, but no man can do that. There are classes of being that God created in the universe, and man can only make things made out of plastic and silicon and rubber and all of these things, but they can't make nothing close to human being, and they will never, even if this world lasts for another 2 billion years, they will never able to achieve those things. There are certain limitation that is given to man by God, and it doesn't matter how they claim that they're brilliant. They can't. They can never do these things. So don't be afraid of these things and be apprehensive of AI taking over anything. They might take over your job and take over the workforce, and people can't find job because they have machine to do these things. They don't go on vacation, they don't get sick, they don't loaf around, they don't get tired and stuff like that. So that's what you have to worry about. But don't worry about machine developing consciousness and do anything extravagant or human like or above human. No, they're human, they're God. They are demons, they are angels. and these creatures are self-will and conscious being, and that's it. No can create any self-conscious thing. No human being can do that. So don't worry yourself. So when you read about these things, almost anything that you read about within philosophy and Christianity, when you talk about Thomas Aquinas, Rene Descartes, and the Cartesian substance dualists, and Thomas Aquinas, all of these names come into play. I think Rene Descartes believed that consciousness it's a pituitary gland, not the pituitary gland, the pineal gland responsible for that's the location of the consciousness and stuff like that. But that's not the case. I don't worry about those things. When there's a very authoritative person that deals with write a lot about the conscious his position is a substance dualism, and he wrote some very great books about it. And there is something I want to read something that is for instance, let me read a section that J.P. Moreland is a authority on this subject, soul, consciousness, and stuff like that. And the soul directs the purpose of the development that has been likened to metamorphosis. These changes do not happen in a human being by accident, but by law-like design that comes from one's essence as a human person. Again, the function emerged from one essence and not the other way around. There is ample reason to suggest that the same essence directs the development of the fetus while in the womb. In other words, what it's saying, consciousness is what directs development of the embryo in the womb. At conception, the soul directs the development. The soul is there. The soul is not like the body that have parts, and we can't think of it as like the body, but parts on the embryogenesis as the soul develops and highs and hears and all of these things. The soul is not like that. The soul is a radically different property that's within the body that directs the development, fetal development, all the way until it's completed and ready to be birthed by mother. All right, so that's why to kill a fetus, to kill a baby in the womb is murder, because the mother knows that it is a child. It doesn't. They use all kind of argumentation to, and always use this word, the viability of the fetus, whether want to determine when the person is from a non-person to a person. And even evolution has a part to play, because at certain part they want to tell you you're like a frog, you're like a fish, and all of these different stages. So when you kill a fetus at a particular stage, then you're not killing a human being, because it's like a throwback. It's going back to the evolutionary path or history of the fetus. And so a different stage, because remember, evolution is about things developing from one stage to the next. That's like bird turning to dinosaur and all of these things. So it's the same thing with the fetus. At certain stages, like a frog, at certain stages like a fish, until eventually turn it into a human embryo. So if you kill a fetus within the womb, any one of those stages, you don't kill a human being, you kill an animal instead. think it's called the recapitulation theory, right? So the people who love to kill the little baby, they don't deem the baby in the womb as human being. Some of them consider it as some bacteria, fungi, cancer, some kind of lesion, cyst, anything they can use to kill a baby in the womb. They don't consider it as a person. And yet he's the person. The baby is a person. From conception, that the soul of that little baby was there. And as it grows, the soul move along direct in a law-like way, moving through the body is developing in the mother's womb and stuff like that. Then you have modern technology, fetiology, and all of this fetal technology that make it very clear that the little baby in the womb is a living human being, and not because it's not outside like other, born outside of the womb. So a human being try to make it like a human being is when a person's born outside of the womb. But as long as it's in the mother's womb, it's not considered a person, so they can't do anything to it. And they have all kind of rational, philosophical argumentation to justify them killing the baby. I'm not going to be long, but so the soul is fundamental. It's there as a human being because that's who we are. And when you die, when anybody die, the soul, the enduring self, at the resurrection, the enduring self, your soul, your I, ego, your self-conscious you will reunite with your glorified body. That's what happened in the resurrection. I know that you have some religious system like the Adventists, Sabbatarianism believe that the soul sleep, and so but the time of resurrection, then the soul be awakened. No, you do not sleep. When you die, you're gone. According to Jesus, the angel will come and take your soul, bring it to where your destiny is, where you're choosing this life, whether it's with God or in a place they call Hades, waiting your judgment and to be cast in hell. And if your name is written in the Lamb Book of Life, you're in heaven with Christ. So remember, non omnis moriar. We are not holy. We don't die holy. We die in parts. We all know our body die, but our soul endure. And in some place, if you believe in Christ before you die, you're in heaven. If you don't, you're in Hades, waiting, undergoing some kind of temporary suffering until you're resurrected, judged, and then cast in the lake of fire. That's his eternal death. And so it doesn't matter what. No scientist can explain self-consciousness. Self-consciousness is outside the category of science and physics. It's a metaphysical subject. It belongs to philosophy and theism. They best answer the question about your soul. You are who you are. It doesn't matter. You can know. You know that you're more than a body by intuition. Self-reflection. You know these things, that you're more than a body. And so philosophers start to explain things in another way, in that if you are just matter in motion, then I can go out and commit a crime. So get up right now and commit a crime, and within seconds, because your body's changing constantly by in seconds. We used to believe people talk about every 7 years, but it's far faster than that. Then they couldn't arrest me because I'm a totally different person from 20 minutes ago. A totally different person if I'm just pure matter in motion. They couldn't arrest me. Everything will be changed. But my soul, my self-conscious I, is the one who make me be that same person that was 25 minutes ago commit that crime, then you can hold me accountable. I'm the same person. And when you damage yourself, when you hurt yourself, you feel pain and all of this because your soul is united with the body in a very intricate and fundamental way. All of your emotion and your intellect is from your soul, and then your body is a medium in a sense, in a deep sense, is a medium of that communication, subconscious communication and stuff like that. And when it's damaged to a point in which you die, where your soul can't be contained by it anymore, it's too damaged. Your body is severely wounded, or you have a disease that ravages your body like cancer. Your soul just can't stay anymore. You die. Your body has to, obviously your body has to be in a certain state for the soul to remain in it and to express itself through that physical medium. When we die, we are found naked, as according to the scripture, because we are body soul unit. God created us to have bodies. Not even though we can exist apart from it, but it is not natural for us to exist apart from our body. We are not angels or spirits. We are body soul beings. And so that's why He will resurrect us and give us a new body. He will resurrect that body that died, give us a new body. Then the soul, enduring self, your self-conscious you, will return and dwell within this new resurrection body. But so people, even for Christian who, when we reach a certain place where we're going to die, if we're sick in our deathbed and we're going to die, we will not be annihilated. They have a position like that in the Christian community, annihilation of the soul and stuff like that. But you're going to exist, you lose this body and they put it in the grave, and then you will be alive and conscious wherever you are. Wherever you are, you'll be conscious and alive. No man will know what happened after that. No man will know if you have any remembrance of this part of reality, and stuff like that. And some people believe that they're going to be so we're going to exist in a disembodied state or a mediate state. And some people believe that we're going to get some kind of temporary body until we get to a resurrection body. We don't know of that. It's just a speculation and conjecture. We don't know what will be like. We just exist in a spirit form, and we'll never know certain things until we find ourselves in that state that we know. Right? But it's the soul is real. It's you. It's the scientists who deny it, and but it's a mysterious conundrum. Very hard to put your hand in it, but it's there. You are who you are. You are your soul. Your soul is you. Soul is you, and remember, you can kill the body, but you can't destroy the soul. Not even an atomic bomb, a neutron bomb. If somebody put you an atomic bomb to sit down and detonate it, they can destroy your body, disintegrate it, but they can't touch your soul. These things are beyond the physical realm and physical matter, and no laws within this nature can touch it. It's beyond the laws of this nature, right? So when almost every day you see somebody want to explain what the soul is, and it's always coming from a scientific point of view, using certain scientific laws, or a theorist try to explain it, and some even use the multiple universe perspective to explain it. Some people believe it's an illusion. Free will is an illusion. Self-consciousness is an illusion. You're just particles moving around, subatomic particle moving around until you eventually die, and then the information within you just float in the greater cosmic reality. And the other people believe that you are just a cup of water existing in parts apart from the universal body of water, which is the universal consciousness. And when you die, that you're poured back in the ocean, like if you take a cup of water and walk down the beach or the seaside and you just pour that cup of water back into the ocean. There's no part of you leave there, you're gone. You just fade away. No individuality, no person would leave. Not so with the Christian faith. You are still who you are when you die. You just leave your body behind and people take it, fight over it, or where you should supposed to bury, or what coffin we're supposed to put you into bury, and all of these things the loved one fight over. While you're in a different dimension, a different world, existing and conscious. And even when people go to the burying ground and laying flowers at the loved ones' tombs and all of these things, talking to them, crying to them, and all of these things, if you really understand the Christian faith, you will know that that person, there's nothing there but rotten corpse. Nobody can hear, nobody can respond to you. It's just a waste of time. But it's just the way human being grieve. And so people still do it, and will never do it, even if I tell them that they will still do it. But no one, they can't hear you. Nobody's there to hear you. And if somebody should be there to dig up that tomb for you, you would run away. You would run away so fast. But you should stay. Why not stay? And then you give you more, I guess, closeness to what's on the ground for you to talk and complain and cry. But it's on. In some place in Indonesia, they have a different kind of culture where they dig up their loved ones and put them into clothes and do all kind of stuff with them, and you got to see them again and all in stuff like that. So people have different tradition and different cultural expression about how they deal with death and so on. But the Christian way is that if you want your loved ones to see your loved one again, you yourself submit yourself to Christ, and then you tell your loved one about Christ, and then they submit themselves to Christ, and then you will see them. Even after the day, you will see them again. But if your father, your mother, your children, your brother, if you believe in Christ and they don't, you will never see them again. It's simple. You'll never see them again. And I don't think you will even miss them. You will see them as though God see them. Because nothing will blackmail, nothing will destroy your peace with God in eternity, nothing will make you unhappy and stuff like that. They deserve what they get. They have given the opportunity and the chance, and they don't make use of it as you make use of it. So you will see that justice is done, and then you will be satisfied, just as how God look at it and say, I give all that I can give to these people, my son, but they refuse to accept him, so they choose where they go. So that's what happened. So the soul is real. The soul exists beyond scientific investigation and theories and conjectures, but it makes more sense within the Christian faith, theism, Christian faith, not within other mysticism, the Near East and our Eastern mysticism and all those things. They don't believe your soul, like you're gone, you poured out in a universal conscious ocean. You don't exist anymore. But Christians believe that you're still alive, you're still conscious of who you are and stuff like that. And so you will be with God himself. You will live forever in complete bliss, joy, holiness, righteousness, beholding the face of God in eternity. That's what Christianity is all about. And so we reject the materialistic, naturalistic position of the soul. Soul, no matter can give rise to the soul, but the soul has more power over the matter of matter, because it's the soul that gave power of direction as the fetus develop in the mother's womb, and that tells you that even the Bible, John the Baptist in the womb, when meet Elizabeth meet Mary, she moves. John the Baptist moved by some miraculous, beyond human understanding things taking place here. But the Bible make it plain that God him say, know you before you were in your mother's womb. Not that there's a pre-existence of soul. Christianity doesn't teach a pre-existence of soul. But in the mind of God, God knew all of us before he created us. Right? He know all of us before he created us. So those pre-existence of souls is Greek mythology and find its way within Eastern mysticism, and probably some Christians even believe it too, because they allow these things to affect their theology and how they interpret scripture. So yes, that's what I want to tell you. It's a profound thing, so I'm just making you know that soul is you, and you exist in a body that is a mortal body, and it will die, and your soul will exist somewhere where it shows the decision we make in this life concerning who Jesus is. You will determine where you exist as a conscious soul. Thank you for everything today, and next time we talk about something interesting. Okay, so enjoy the rest of the day. For me, thank you. See you again.